I saw and observed on the ground. Very special ground report from the line of control. There were some children who've lost limbs in the shelling. They're now India's smallest but possibly the most powerful crime family. Cough syrup has killed at least 25 children. Gaikwad साहब ऐसे मत कीजिए. Suddenly people are wondering about the weaponization of India-Pakistan cricket. We live and breathe elections. You will not believe your eyes or ears when I show you what I'm about to do. And for a country that has fought so many wars in the mountains and at high altitude, we're standing on the Indian Navy's newest warship. The line of control, Shivarur, NDTV.
This is where the future shows up first. Conversations with the biggest names in tech and AI. Putting tech through its paces. No fancy jargon or spec sheets, just what matters. If it's shaping the future, you'll see it here first. The Tesla Model Y. This is Tech 360. Real talk, real reviews across the NDTV network.
Alright team, our new auto show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
expert advice, the latest trends.
It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions.
It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma and I am your Automate.
This is NDTV, and you're watching NDTV 24/7.
Hello and welcome to World Report with me, Arjun Samar Mahindra, and let's take a look at what's making global headlines this Wednesday. Let's first get you the latest coming in from West Asia war. You see, US President Donald Trump, he's insisted that Iran has agreed to nuclear inspections, a claim that, by the way, Tehran has flatly rejected. US Secretary of State Marco Rubio, meanwhile, he's also reiterated the need for the Strait of Hormuz to be opened for safe and free passage and for negotiations on Lebanon to be kept separate from any deal with Iran. Meanwhile, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian, he's spoken about the exclusion of Tehran's ballistic missile program for negotiations with the US. Now, the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency, or the IAEA, he's signaled that Iranian nuclear enrichment sites would be visited by his inspectors. Now, that's a key component in this interim deal we're getting to pick up. As situations seem to improve with Iran, the US has also eased restrictions on Iran's World Cup team, allowing them to travel 2 days before their next match. Now, moving inside the US, you see the Republican-controlled US Senate, it's passed a bill. It's called the War Powers Resolution that requires President Donald Trump to seek congressional approval before resuming hostilities with Iran. Senators weighed on America's wins and losses from the war, thrashing Donald Trump's decision in making that war.
Good afternoon, everyone. Donald Trump and Republicans have plunged America into a reckless and costly war of choice that has been a disaster. And the American people have been forced to pay the price, including as a result of the higher gas prices and higher food prices that can be directly attributed to the Trump Republican reckless war of choice in Iran.
Americans got worse than nothing from this war. We're worse off than before it started. And that's precisely why Trump, Rubio, and Vance are too afraid to come before the American people and the whole Senate to defend this war and the so-called understanding.
Stay in the region, but shift our focus to Israel and Lebanon. According to the UN, a ceasefire in southern Lebanon seems to be largely holding as the fifth round of talks between Lebanon and Israel gets underway in Washington, D.C. Moreover, the International Maritime Organization has announced plans to evacuate 11,000 stranded seafarers throughout the Strait of Hormuz.
An initiative on the Strait of Hormuz from our colleagues at the International Maritime Organization, who tell us they will be beginning implementing an evacuation plan for more than 11,000 seafarers who remain stranded in the region. The large-scale operation will be carried out in close cooperation with Iran, Oman, and all other coastal states in the region, as well as the United States and the maritime industry.
With the US lifting oil sanctions on Iran for 60 long days, 2 months, Tehran is now hopeful that it will generate revenue in terms of billions. Many experts, meanwhile, also believe Iran could be looking at a windfall. Here's a special report looking at the details.
For the first time in years, Iran can see a path to serious cash. Washington has granted a 60-day sanctions reprieve, allowing Iran to sell oil freely. Some estimates suggest the temporary relief alone could bring in billions of dollars. And if a final deal is reached, the rewards could be far greater. Iran could gain access to frozen assets abroad, attract new buyers for its oil, and see sanctions lifted across key sectors of its economy. Experts say the newly issued sanctions waiver could generate up to $3 billion for Iran. During the 60-day period, analysts say the long-term benefits could run into tens of billions of dollars. But this is where the celebration meets reality. The sanctions regime against Iran is a 4-decade-long maze of US laws, international restrictions, and blacklists. Unwinding all of that won't happen overnight. Experts warn that delisting thousands of sanctioned entities and convincing global companies to return to Iran could take years. So while the deal offers hope, the road to economic recovery remains long. For now, Iran has won access to the treasure chest. Actually opening it may be the harder battle. Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Federal judge in California issued a nationwide block against the Trump administration on Tuesday. Now, the judges put an end to the policy of making arrests at immigration courts, putting an end essentially to a practice that garnered national attention. Last year, in 2025, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, it began detaining migrants in courthouse hallways across the country, sometimes just moments after pleading their cases. The move raised alarm among attorneys and advocates who said the practice was turning immigration courts from places of due process into zones of fear and punishing people who, by the way, were following the rules, punishing law-abiding citizens. Now, Tuesday's ruling, it marks a major blow to the Trump admin, which rescinded long-held guidance that had limited immigration enforcement in or near courthouses. Shifting our focus, Russia has accused the US of failing to deliver on understandings reached between Presidents Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump at the summit in Alaska last August. Now, this has led to growing frustration in Moscow. In the space of just 3 days, 3 senior Russian officials have said, without providing specifics, that Washington has not followed through. These comments follow an intensification of Ukraine's drone strikes deep behind Russian lines, including 2 attacks just last week on a Moscow oil refinery. Moreover, at the G7 summit, Ukrainian President Zelensky told Trump and other Western leaders that Kyiv was turning the tide in the war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky will skip a high-level conference on the post-war reconstruction of Ukraine. Now, this comes amid a deepening rift with Poland over his decision of naming a military unit after one that killed tens of thousands of Poles during the Second World War. Ukraine's president had been expected to co-host the Ukraine Recovery Conference, which, by the way, begins in the Polish coastal city of Gdańsk on Thursday. However, now the Ukrainian delegation will be led by the Prime Minister of the country. Now, this annual conference, by the way, which in previous years took place in Rome, Berlin, and even in London, it seeks to bring together partners and businesses that could essentially help with rebuilding Ukraine after the war. North Korea has reportedly commissioned the biggest ever expansion to its military ability. You see, a 5,000-ton destroyer warship equipped with a range of systems, including anti-aircraft and anti-ship weapons, as well as nuclear-capable ballistic and cruise missiles. Supreme Leader Kim Jong-un has touted it as a symbol of the country's growing naval and nuclear capabilities. According to state media reports, the country also plans to deploy another 5,000-ton destroyer named Kangkong soon. along with 10,000-ton strategic warships. The leaders of the 4 Central European countries, well, they've signalled the revival of a regional alliance on Tuesday. The Prime Ministers of Czech Republic, Hungary, Poland and Slovakia, they met in Hungary to repair relations that had been fractured over the pro-Russian stance of former Hungarian leader Viktor Orban. The meeting was hosted by Hungarian Prime Minister Péter Major. It marks the first summit of the Visegrad 4 regional grouping in more than 2 years now.
Kezdjem azzal, amivel Donald Tusk miniszterelnök úr befejezte Brüsszelben múlt héten az első találkozónkat. The V4 is back. A visegrádi négyek együttműködése visszatért. Köszönöm szépen Robert Ficónak, Donald Tusknak és Andrej Babis.
India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar is in South Korea for a high-level 2-day visit, reaffirming the ties between the two nations. Upon his arrival in capital Seoul, Jaishankar met with his South Korean counterpart Cho Hyun and held key discussions over cooperation between the two countries across various sectors and also opportunities to expand the already expanded bilateral ties. In a post on X, Jaishankar expressed elation over his meeting with his counterpart, with both sides continuing discussions done during South Korean President Lee Jae-myung's meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi just earlier in April this year.
I think countries that are like-minded, countries with shared values, countries who have strong mutual trust to work with each other. Again, as you noted, the presidential visit and the meeting of our Prime Minister with your President of the G7 in Evian. These have been recent leadership occasions where guidance has been given to us on how to take those ties forward.
The US has provided doses of an experimental antibody drug for use in clinical trials to fight the widening Ebola outbreak in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or the DRC. Now, this marks a shift from its earlier position of making the drug available just for Americans. After dismantling the US Agency for International Development and slashing aid to the region, Washington is now making modest contributions to assist with the worst Ebola outbreak yet. The Ebola outbreak, by the way, has infected more than 1,000 and caused over 260 deaths so far in the DRC alone. President and Cuban officials paid tribute to a key figure in the country's revolution, Ramiro Valdez, on Tuesday. Former President Raul Castro, together with current leader Miguel Diaz-Canel, paid their respects at his urn, and his urn, in fact, was placed on display in the Ministry of the Armed Forces. The government has declared official mourning following Valdez's death, and his ashes will be placed in the mausoleum that holds those of guerrilla leader Ernesto Che Guevara in Santa Clara. Thousands of Cubans, meanwhile, passed in front of the urn in the entrance hall of the ministry to pay their final tribute.
El comandante de la revolución, Ramiro Valdés, fue de los protagonistas esenciales en la historia de la revolución. Y eso tenemos que defenderlo, es la obra de la revolución, eso no podemos olvidarlo, eso hay que levantarlo, las nuevas generaciones tienen que conocerlo, y es lo que nos queda, son las armas que nos quedan.
Turkish security forces have arrested more than 200 people on Tuesday. Now, the arrests have been made under the suspicion of links to the self-styled Islamic State and other groups that Ankara deems terrorist organizations. Now, this comes right before, just weeks before, when NATO leaders are in fact set to gather in the Turkish capital for the alliance's annual summit just next month. Now, as a result, the government has started implementing security measures and stepping up policing in anticipation. US President Donald Trump and leaders of the other 31 member states are expected at the summit on between the 7th and the 8th of July. Dozens of activists from former Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina's Awami League have been arrested across Bangladesh. According to authorities, the activists, they attempted to mark the party's 77th founding anniversary despite a nationwide ban or a national ban on the party. According to Bangladesh Corps, 26 activists of the banned party were arrested in capital Dhaka, while several others were detained elsewhere for staging processions or even attempting to defy restrictions amid heightened security. In a post from the official account, The party has condemned the arrest, calling it a revenge. Switching focus, Swedish activist Greta Thunberg has raised concerns on Pakistan's brutal human rights record. This comes right after top Baloch activist Dr. Mehrang Baloch was given life sentence by the Quetta Anti-Terrorism Court for speaking up against extrajudicial killings in Pakistan-occupied Balochistan. Listen in.
Yesterday, an anti-terrorism court in Pakistan sentenced Dr. Mehrang Baloch and a few other activists to life imprisonment. Dr. Mehrang Baloch has spent years peacefully advocating for the families of the disappeared, speaking up against extrajudicial killings and demanding justice for the people of Balochistan, occupied territory by Pakistan. She was arrested in March 2025 during a peaceful sit-in in Quetta while calling for accountability after protesters were killed. For more than a year, she remained in detention, facing isolation, concerns over medical neglect, and charges as an attempt to criminalize peaceful political activism. Her trial was conducted behind closed doors inside a high-security prison, away from public scrutiny and independent observation, raising serious concerns about transparency and due process.
Well, with that, viewers, it's time to step into a short break. We'll be right back.
If Lubasi was your son, you'd do anything to stop his suffering. He's in agony because he has an eye infection called trachoma. It's often spread by flies, like these. If Lubasi was your son, you'd take him to the doctor. But his parents can't afford to get him the care he so desperately needs. You can. When you give £2 a month to Sightsavers, you can help save more children from agony like this and spare their parents the pain of watching their children suffer. Every month, you'll help our eye doctors get to some of the world's poorest and most remote villages. It's so simple to treat trachoma, but we urgently need your support to do it. So please call 0800 038 4920, text Site10 to 82727, or go to sightsavers.tv to give £2 a month to Sightsavers right now.
Your home could help open doors to the retirement you want. Releasing equity from your home could give you the financial freedom to enjoy more of what matters. With 25 years' experience, we know this won't be right for everyone. But an Aviva Equity Release Advisor can help you decide what's right for you. Talk to Aviva about equity release today and see how your home can open doors.
With Post Office Over 50s life cover, enjoy peace of mind knowing your family will receive a guaranteed payout when you're gone. UK resident 50 to 80, your guaranteed acceptance. No health checks and from just £1.15 a week. Plus free 24/7 GP access with the health and wellbeing benefit. Purchase and receive an amazon.co.uk, M&S or dining out gift card worth £125. Call Post Office on 0800 171 2211.
This is Zena. She had such a difficult start in life. It took a lot of time and care, but thankfully, she's happy and healthy now, with a loving home for life. You can adopt Zena today with the Donkey Sanctuary. And there are lots more lovely donkeys to choose from. Take Walter. He's so playful. He loves to chase his favourite ball. Or Ashley. Such a fun-loving donkey. Or calm and confident Drizzle. Adopting a donkey costs from £4 a month. Adopt today and you'll help save donkeys all over the world from abuse and neglect. You'll love your adoption pack with gorgeous pictures of your new donkey friend, and we'll send you more great updates throughout the year. Call 0800 038 1948, visit adoptadonkey.org.uk or text ADOPT9 to 78866. Adopt today from £4 a month and help many more donkeys in desperate need find the love and care they deserve. Thank you.
This is where the future shows up first. Conversations with the biggest names in tech and AI. Putting tech through its paces. No fancy jargon or spec sheets, just what matters. If it's shaping the future, you'll see it here first. The Tesla Model Y. This is Tech 360. Real talk, real reviews across the NDTV network.
Welcome back, viewers. You see, stocks fell on Wall Street on Tuesday as a sell-off in big technology companies spread from Asia back to the US. Now, this is due to persisting worries about potentially higher interest rates by the end of this year. The S&P fell 117 points to 7,365. Dow Jones Industrial Average dipped 47 points to end at 51,666. Speaking of Nasdaq, it dropped 579 points to finish at 25,587. Now, the selling was concentrated in AI-related companies that have had huge run-ups in recent months and have sent the markets to records after records, most recently in early June. Investors, meanwhile, they're becoming worried that the growing likelihood of interest rates hikes this year to fight inflation will also weigh on economic growth and weigh on their stocks as well. Elon Musk's SpaceX has launched 5 tranche notes offering to raise at least $25 billion. Now, this comes as the newly incorporated public company seeks funding for its capital-intensive AI expansion. The company's AI ambitions carry a hefty price tag, needless to say, requiring tens of billions of dollars in investment in data centers, computing hardware, and of course, power infrastructure. Now, the senior unsecured notes will be issued across 5-year, 7-year, 10-year, 20-year, and 30-year respective tenors. Proceeds will be used to repay borrowings under its bridge loan facility, as well as for general corporate purposes. South Korea is preparing to expand its semiconductor push as the government holds talks with Samsung Electronics and SK Hynix. Now, this comes as new chip cluster announcement is expected soon. This will mark the next phase of major investment in chip production facilities. According to the President Policy Advisor Kim Yong-bom, increasing demands from the AI industry can possibly force the two tech giants to accelerate construction plans. The move underlines Seoul's efforts to strengthen its position in the global race for AI-powered semiconductor technology. The Chinese technology and e-commerce giant Alibaba, it has sued U.S. government on Tuesday. Now, this comes after the U.S. Department of Defense, or the DoD, placed the tech giant on a list of businesses from China that are linked to the military, the PLA. The complaint was filed in California federal court after the Pentagon expanded its blacklist of alleged Chinese military companies on the 8th of June to 188 entities. This expansion reflects the country's concerns that the Chinese military could tap the country's private sector for advancements. At least 40 people have drowned in France while swimming in unsupervised areas. Now, this comes as people try to seek relief from a heat wave that has gripped the country and other parts of Europe as well. According to a France broadcaster, temperatures soared to 43 degrees Celsius in the southwest of the country on Tuesday. The International Federation of the Red Cross and the Red Crescent Societies, it's warned that the next few days pose serious health risks across Europe. F1 star Lando Norris, well, he's had a chance to take a long look at himself in the face, and it's not been in the mirror. What am I talking about? Well, the reigning F1 Drivers' Champion is set to join the ranks of other sporting icons on display at the Madame Tussauds Wax Museum in London. His wax figure will be officially unveiled on the 30th June ahead of the British Grand Prix at Silverstone. Prior to that, Norris was given his own private viewing. He has donated his McLaren Payapa race suit for his track-ready figure to wear.
To feel immortalized by Madame Tussauds is incredible. It's something, yeah, I guess a lot of people dream of having or getting
Last
done.
Night Philippines might maybe leave you with these visuals.
And it's odd. I mean, it's a very odd sensation to see myself, you know. I always see myself in the mirror in the morning or the evening, see pictures of me, but to see me is a very different thing. So, yeah, very happy I got the opportunity, and even happier now that it's all done.
Now, moving on to the FIFA World Cup, where Portugal got back their mojo in house, scoring 5-0 against Uzbekistan. See, Cristiano Ronaldo was back in his element, scoring a brace. For all those doubters out there, here's a report.
Portugal, under huge pressure after their draw against DR Congo in the first game, missed 2 chances inside the first 4 minutes. But in the 6th minute, Cristiano Ronaldo came back roaring. He became the first player in the history of World Cup to score in 6 different editions. It was a great finish after Nuno Mendes gave a peach of a cross. And then in the 17th minute, Mendes found the back of the net, a brilliant goal through a free kick. After Uzbekistan's goal was overturned due to a foul, the boy from Lisbon, Cristiano Ronaldo, netted his second of the night with an assist from Bruno Fernandes. It was a finish with precision and Ronaldo was enjoying himself in the middle. CR7 missed his hat-trick, but there was another own goal as Portugal marched to 4-0. Rafael Leao in the 87th minute delivered a stunning finish. Portugal thumping Uzbekistan with a 5-0 win. Rika Roy for NDTV.
Philippines is celebrating their annual mud festival, the Philippine Mud Festival, also known as the Taong Putik Festival. It takes place annually on the 24th of June in the village of Aliaga. Catholic devotees in Aliaga were seen gathering at the church before dawn to take part in the festival, a distinctive tradition tied to the feast of Saint John the Baptist. Participants could be seen covering themselves in mud and banana leaves before heading to the Mass in an act of devotion that has in fact been passed down for generations. We leave you with these visuals, news and updates, but they continue on the other side.
Kaya nating baguhin ang ating mga ng kapayapaan ngayon at magpasawalang hanggan. Amen.
No child should suffer the torture of trachoma, but so many are in pain right now. Nananga's lashes have turned inwards. They rip and tear away at his eyes. Pamelo's sight could be gone forever. He's just 3 years old. Kofanga screams for his mother. His eyes are so infected that he can't even see her. For so many children in the world's poorest countries, trachoma is torture. It's a painful infection often spread by flies, and it's destroying children's eyesight. But it could be stopped if you help today. By calling 0800 021 3925 and giving £2 a month to Sightsavers, you can help make sure children get the treatment they desperately need. You'll help us bring them the medicines and the care that can treat infections. And that means you'll be helping to save children from the torture of trachoma and a life of blindness. Please help us reach them. Call 0800 021 3925, text C7 to 82727, or go online and give just £2 a month now. Because we need you to help save the sight of children like Nananga. We need you to help save them from the torture of trachoma.
Gradually reduce grey is the easiest way with Control GX Grey Reducing Shampoo. Reduce a little grey every time you wash for subtle looking results. Control GX from Just for Men.
Wouldn't life be so much easier if you could control your blinds at the touch of a button? With Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, there's no chains, cords or wiring because these stylish blinds are driven by a rechargeable power pack. New Ultra Smart Blinds from Appeal, the intelligent solution for home shading.
For a chance to win a share of £20.2 million, sign up to Postcode Lottery's July draws before midnight on the 30th of June. Is your door in the draw?
Don't let gaps in your travel insurance spoil your holiday. Go without the doubt. Insure and go. Call 0800 198 0198.
unexpected expense, Drafty's got your back. Borrowing £100 for a month costs less than £6. Apply at drafty.co.uk.
It was so painful to watch. I sat there and I held her hand. She just went. Although people don't like to talk about it, but we're getting older, it has to be done.
Yeah, you got to have that conversation about wills.
Start to think about, well, what would I do? Where would I want to leave things?
Give more end-of-life care. Search Marie Curie Will Talk to get your free will guide.
All right, team, our new order show is ready. Now we need a promo. Something cool, something sharp.
Well, I'm sure we'll be having outstanding reviews, solid suggestions,
Expert advice, the latest trends. It's a lot simpler. We'll help people make the right auto decisions. It's got the cool stuff, geeky stuff, serious stuff, all of it, so that you can discover, decide, and drive. I'm Siddharth Sharma, and I am your Automate.
Hello and welcome to World Report with me, Arjun Samad Mahindra, and let's take a look at what's making global headlines this Wednesday. That's